Hello everyone and welcome back to my opinion. India have won their third group stage match by 61 runs. Let's get into this review video. I'll be mentioning two things. First off, the conditions and then the playing 11s of both teams. I'd said in my previous video that in the previous 7 T20Is played at this venue, batting first is yielded 3 wins, batting second is yielded 4 wins. However, batting first is yielded a greater margin of victory. I've said whichever team wins the toss, they should choose batting and they should score 170 runs. And if they do that, they'd have a big chance of winning the match. Pakistan's captain won the toss, he chose bowling, the match was over there. And now we're going to the playing 11s for India. I'd said Washington Sundar should play ahead of Rinku Singh. Abhishek Sharma was fit to play, and expectedly Kuldeep Yadav returned. The reason why I said Washington Sundar should play ahead of Rinku Singh is, yes, Rinku Singh scored runs at the end, but I feel that India structured their batting lineup better according to the surface. I feel the end overs, quick runs would not have been needed. India would have still got to 170, and Washington Sundar's power play bowling would have been a greater assurance, but things worked out. And for Pakistan, there are only 2 points of difference in my 11 and their 11. I'd said Khwaja Nafi and Salman Mirza should play ahead of Babar Azam and Shaheen Afridi. I feel this should happen from the next match. I don't know when they'll make this change. Looking at the power play bowling, Salman Agha bowled the first over, picking up the wicket of Abhishek Sharma. The next over should have been bowled by Saim Ayub. I said this in my previous video where the one phase Pakistan would have to manage when it comes to their bowling is the power play bowling. And you did play Shaheen Afridi, Fahim Ashraf didn't bowl, then you've got Saim Ayub. And had Salman Agha bowled more, where he bowled 2 overs, 1 for 10, then you got Saim Ayub, 3 for 25 and 4 overall. And both those two bowled from the start in the power play. It would have been a correct combination for them, but that didn't happen. And we saw this next point in the Asia Cup, and we saw this again in this match. Abrar Ahmed should not bowl in the power play. I think they were greedy, slightly desperate when Ishant Kishan was scoring the boundaries. They bowled on Abrar Ahmed early and he went for runs, none for 38 in his 3. So India 52 for 1, I'd said 55 for 1, 52 for 1. They still won the power play. I'd spoken about the hierarchy of spinners for Pakistan and who I thought would be the most difficult to play. The hierarchy went as follows: Abrar Ahmed, Shadab Khan, and then Usman Tariq. I thought Usman Tariq should have bowled the 7th over. They're using him in a defensive way we saw versus USA as well, where by the 10th or 11th over he's brought on when the wickets have fallen beforehand. They used him in the same way here. They should have brought him in the 7th over. But I stand by my statement that the reason why, now in this match, 1 for 24, he bowled well. The reason why I thought India would not find it as difficult to play Usman Tariq is because he bowls slower through the air. He doesn't turn the ball as much, but he's got variations. And we saw the difference between the first 2 overs and the second 2 overs. The first 2 overs, none for 16 and 2. They didn't try to slog. The second time, 1 for 8 in 2. And I thought it's because rather than trying to hit straight down the ground, they tried to go square of the wicket where he's bowling in the mid-70s kph range and on a slow surface. I thought as well, I said in my previous video, he plays to the ego of the batsman. I thought because they tried to go square of the wicket, they could not get as many runs off him, but he did bowl well. Now I'll be talking about the structuring of India's batting lineup. People may think Suryakumar Yadav is a captain. Would this be something that would be happening in feasibility? But according to me, 81 for 1 in 8 overs on this kind of a surface, he should not have batted. The reason why this is the case, according to me, is because there's a difference between when he bats on surfaces with truer bounce, such as in Mumbai, than when in surfaces where there's not much of a true bounce like this one in Colombo. And we saw the difference in this tournament as well, 80-odd versus USA. And in this case, he's scored at a strike rate of just over a run a ball. It's happened in the IPO as well, and playing in Mumbai and playing in Chennai, there's a difference. India have got enough batsmen. I would have sent Shivam Dubey at number 4. And if that had happened, you wouldn't have needed Rinku Singh's last over hitting at the end. India would have still got to 170 odd. And Washington Sundar would have provided more power play assurance, according to me, but it worked out. So I feel the structuring of the batting lineup for India has got to be better. And when I talked about playing square at the wicket, Suryakumar Yadav likes to play square at the wicket. But on the slower surface where the bounce isn't as true, that's why when Usman Tariq bowled towards the end, when he tried to play that shot, he was dismissed. So that's on that. Looking at this bowling card, Abrar Ahmed was bowled on early, went for 38 runs in 3 overs. Shadab Khan also 1 over for 17, meaning the two spinners who I thought would be most difficult to play have gone for 55 in their 4 overs. Who are the economical spinners? Mohammad Nawaz, I thought against India he wouldn't have much of an effectiveness. 4 overs, none for 28. I feel Shivam Dube batted at 4. India could have got a few more runs off him. And had India played straight down the ground versus Usman Tariq at the end, they could have got more runs off him, meaning they wouldn't have needed the last over hitting to get to the 170 odd score, but it worked out for them. On Pakistan's batting innings, I thought they needed to get at least 58 in the power play when chasing this kind of a total at this venue. And I think what we saw when comparing the two power plays was the difference in game sense that's possessed by Hardik Pandya compared to Shaheen Afridi. Shaheen Afridi, in whichever phase he was bowling quick and full. And we saw especially the 6 that Rinku Singh hit 141 kph. It was a fuller delivery. Hardik Pandya dragged this length back and bowled at 134 kph, and the first over was a wicket, made him. Hardik Pandya doesn't bowl 4 overs for India in a T20 often, but Shaheen Afridi bowls 4 overs for Pakistan. So the difference in game sense, I feel, was evident when watching this power play. Pakistan were 38 for 4, they had no chance. And it's where, yes, when he was dismissed, people may say a lot of things, but I feel even when Babar Azam was opening, he hasn't been scoring runs. So on this kind of a surface against this India bowling, why are you playing him at number 4, chasing this kind of a score? I didn't think he should have played. Khwaja Nafi should have played at 4. Babar Azam in T20s. Would I play him? No. If he does play, he's only got to open. He cannot bat lower than that. And it's as if you're afraid to drop a player because of his reputation, and that's the reason why we saw he's batting out of position. Even when batting in position, he's not been scoring runs. So I don't think this is something that you can say that it wasn't expected. If he didn't score runs when batting in position, and there's a question about him being dropped, it'd be more realistic. But at this point, I think we all knew he would not do well at number 4, and we've seen that again. So I don't think it's something that was unexpected. And Pakistan, as I said, they've got to bring in Khwaja Nafi and Salman Mirza for Babar Azam and Shaheen Afridi. So that's on this match for India. As I said, the only thing they've got to improve on is the structuring of the batting lineup depending on the surface. In this case, had they sent Shivam Dube at number 4, India would have got to the score without the end overs hitting at the end. Rinku Singh still played well. If India can structure their batting lineup according to the conditions, they will get better than what they are. If you enjoyed this video, please like and subscribe. Share with your friends. This is my opinion. What's yours?